Hello everyone, and welcome to GameIntus. I'm your host for today, MayroSMM, or Mario Knows One, and today we're going to expose one of Super Paper Mario's biggest and most kept secrets that can't be found anywhere else on the web at the time of this recording, and has only recently been discovered by us. Let's begin, shall we? The discovery we have to share with you today most likely can't be found in your copy of Super Paper Mario. This is due to the fact that it only exists in the Korean copy of the game, and not by playing the game normally either. The only way to access this discovery is by dumping a Korean copy of the game and digging through the files. Super Paper Mario is known to have a multitude of unused data, mostly consisting of leftovers from the Thousand Year Door and from when the game was originally being developed for the GameCube. Due to this fact, the Thousand Year Door and Super Paper Mario use very similar engines, just with slightly modified features, meaning the files in the Thousand Year Door can also be used with Super Paper Mario and vice versa. South Korea got a handful of games on the Nintendo Wii translated and brought over, just like with a handful of Nintendo GameCube games. Why is this so important? Well, one thing to note is that the game was released in Japan on April 19th, 2007. The release in South Korea, however, was released on February 26th, 2009, almost 2 years after the original release. This got us curious, wanting to get a hold of a Korean dump of the game, which we successfully did. We did a comparison of the files, and noticed that the Korean version of the game had extra files which the other releases of the game didn't have. That isn't even uncommon for Korean releases, as the Korean release of Super Mario Sunshine contained a symbol map of all things. Taking a closer look, we realized that these files were 11 files for different levels, which caught us off guard because it begged the question, why would a Korean build of the game have more stages than every other version of the game, if it's just meant to be a translation from Japanese or English to Korean? Because of this, we decided to try and load them in-game by replacing them over the first level, so it would just load in these unused levels instead. Unused levels aren't uncommon in Super Paper Mario. You can find a couple on just about any release of the game, though these ones were very different. It would be easier just to show you them. Now that I've shown you all the stages that can be found, there are a couple of things to point out about these that makes them odd that they even exist in the first place. For starters, the art style doesn't really match Super Paper Mario's at all, and not even just that, but also the fact that the stages don't work as Super Paper Mario stages at all. They don't look good or work correctly when in 2D mode, so you need to flip into 3D to navigate and see them properly, which is a problem considering you have a timer when you're flipped into 3D which will eventually make you start losing health. It's not a problem for us, since we can just have unlimited time with a few modifications. Another thing to note is all the cats in the stages. Why are they there? They aren't Mario characters at all, and we don't even know the source of them. So there are a couple of possible reasons why these are here. Intelligent Systems was working on a different game, either for the GameCube or Wii, and eventually it got a reskin and overhaul into the Super Paper Mario we know today, similar to Doki Doki Panic. Super Paper Mario was originally a completely different game without the 2D to 3D flipping implemented. There are infinite possibilities, but we won't bore you with all of them. These maps really seem to love cats. What's weird is that the cats aren't stylized like other Paper Mario characters, and another thing worth mentioning if you couldn't tell, the cats aren't NPCs. They're in fact the model's geometry for the stage and have no collision or interaction abilities. Still, you can't help but wonder why they're there, or why these maps are even left in. However, here's the really odd part of all of this. They all seem to have a creation date of after the Japanese version release, with one of them dated June 14th, 2007, nearly 2 months after both the US and Japan release, but while also being before the European release, which somehow also didn't have these stage files. And of course that raises even more questions. One thing's for sure though, it's super interesting, and it gives people more of a reason to check out the same game multiple times but from different regions. Well, that's something you certainly don't find every day. We hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully there'll be many more to come. We have more special guests planned, as well as a bunch of episodes with content very similar to this, and we'll be sure to be hard at work for the next one. In the meantime, if you did enjoy the episode, be sure to like, comment your thoughts and criticism, and if you like what you see, why not subscribe? And if you want to check out one of our own channels, be sure to subscribe to Mario Nova, whose link will be in the description down below. Once again, I'm Mayro, and if you like the sound of my voice and want to check out some of my content, my link will be in the description as well. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again next time.